Retro Gang, welcome in to another special edition of the Double R Podcast. How you feeling today, Retro Gang? What's goody? right, everybody, welcome into the Double R Podcast. This is your boy Retro Recap. Here on this show, we bring you all the news, all the reactions, all the predictions that you need. If you want my take on something, I'm going to give it. Producer, can we get the camera on me, please? If you want the hot takes, I'm going to give it to you. If you want the hottest reactions, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you comedy. I'm going to give you charisma. And I'm going to expose anybody that wants to be exposed. That's what I'm here for. So if you like any of that, if you like exposure, you like comedy, you like charisma, you like a guy that screams to the top of his lungs, I'm that guy. Welcome everybody to the Double R Podcast. As I mentioned before, this is your boy Double R Retro Recap, and we're going to be talking about the NFC playoff picture. Yesterday, we talked about the AFC picture, who I thought was going to win, what teams do I want the Baltimore Ravens to face, and all that good stuff. Wavy Retro Gang, it's great to see you guys here. Welcome in. Don't forget, before we get started, like the video, share the video, do whatever you got to do. If you want to subscribe to the channel as a member, it's $2.99. If you like me enough, I appreciate it. Before we get started again, I want to introduce Sly. If you have not got your Sly energy drinks, what the hell are you waiting for? It's right there. Get your Sly Boost. If you want a jolt of energy, if you want to feel good, you want your brain to function at a higher level, get that boost. If you want to chill and vab and chill, get that Sly Chill. And if you want to sleep nice, sleep tight, with a nice little melatonin feel, want to have a nice little drink, a little melatonin in it, get you your Sly Dream. I promise you that Sly Dream will have you sleeping as great as you possibly can. So go get yours now. Alrighty. So we are here to talk about NFC playoffs. So let me go ahead and set the stage about how this is going to work. So, for those who don't know, Saturday starts the game, so there are going to be games on Saturday and Sunday. So let's take a look at what the games are looking like for this upcoming weekend. All right, so first of all, we have, let's scroll down, NFC. We have the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowgirls. You know what I'm saying? The Dallas Cowgirls. And look, I'm sorry if you were a fan of the Dallas Cowgirls. I said it, the Dallas Cowgirls. I don't give a damn if you upset or not. Until they win a championship, they're going to be called the Dallas Cowgirls. You feel me? They haven't won anything since '95. You don't get to be called the boys. You're going to be called the Dallas Cowgirls until you win a title. Shit, get to an NFC championship game. Then come talk. Anyway, the Green Bay Packers are going on the road to the Dallas Cowgirls in Jerry World, and we just had a conversation about this yesterday about how good the Dallas. Let me be serious here. How good the Dallas Cowboys play in Jerry World. When they play in Texas, they're really good. When they don't play in Texas, they're really bad. The good news is for Cowboys fans out there, this game is in Dallas, and they're playing a team who has been ascending towards the end of part of the season, the latter half of the season. But I don't think that offense can match the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 36-9, 4,500 yards. CeeDee Lamb, they have weapons galore. And you know when they play inside that stadium, they're going to drop 30 on your head. That's just what they do. Let's call a spade a spade. The Dallas Cowboys play really good at home. So I have them winning this game. But they're playing at 4:30. I'm gonna get into my predictions in a little bit. I guess I just gave you one. On Sunday, we have the Los Angeles Rams with Matthew Stafford as your starting quarterback, going back to Detroit, the same place he started off in the beginning of his career. He's going back to Ford Field to try to steal the hearts out of Lions fans. And that game is a Sunday night game, 8:15. Now that game is prime time. Are we shocked about that? There's a storyline here. Anytime you have a former player going back to the place he started, that's storyline, that's drama. People want to keep their eyes on that. I see why they put this at the 8:15 slot, because it's a lot. It's headlines. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford are going to Detroit. Jared Goff, who's the starting quarterback for the Lions, is playing his former team. They got rid of Goff to get Matthew Stafford. So there's a lot of history here between the quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford's had his best games in Detroit. However, Matthew Stafford was never able to deliver a championship to Detroit. Maybe he wins his second championship and he has to go through Detroit to do it. Possibly so. Anyway, that game is Sunday night at 8:15 p.m. on NBC. So definitely go check it out. My eyes will be tuning in on that game because I'm very intrigued as to what's going to happen here. All right. This game might be the most easier games to predict, but before I even go into my prediction, a Monday night game for a playoff game in a wild card round. Now, they've done that before. I assumed that all football games were on the weekend. We got a Monday night football game in the playoffs. Eagles, Buccaneers. That game is at 8 p.m. and the San Francisco 49ers have a bye week. All right, now that I've set the stage, it's time for me to go into my opinions. So let's do that real fast. So here we go. So here's the bracket for everybody, just so you guys can see the bracket. Everything that I just talked about is literally, I'm giving you a visual graphic of it now. Tiffy B the Great, welcome into the Double R podcast, featuring your boy Double R. How you feeling today? All right, so let's get into the predictions here. Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't look good to finish the season. They were 10-1, and what did they finish? 11-6. Everybody in Philly was going crazy when the Eagles were 10-1. They was like, oh, just like last year, 15-1 or whatever the record was they were last year, 15-2. We're amazing. We're great. And then this year they started off 10-1, and it was like, oh, we're amazing. We're great. Then towards the latter part of the season, they weren't great. I mean, you won one out of your last 6 games. I mean, for a team that has the talent that they do, I thought their defense was impeccable until we start realizing teams were gashing them. Ever since that 49ers game, the Eagles have not been the same since then. When the San Francisco dropped 42 on your head, they have not been the same since. The good news is they're playing a Tampa Bay team who plays in the NFC South, and they're not good in terms of that division. So if there's ever a confidence boost game, it will be this game. Tampa Bay Bucks have lost 8 games this season. Although I like the way Baker Mayfield has played, he has some weapons. They're going to make this interesting. I do not think that the Bucks are going to beat the Eagles, though. Even though the Eagles have struggled and Jalen Hurts has not played his best ball, because people was talking about he's an MVP favorite. I was like, okay, show me what you got. And then the whole team just started crashing down. I think the Eagles are going to win this game 31-17. That's my prediction. 31-17 is what I'm thinking about with this game. You guys can drop your predictions down below. I think even though they've been struggling, the Eagles have too much talent. They have too much talent to lose this game. I'm picking the Eagles. Then we have the game that I'm keeping my eye on closely on Sunday night. Sunday night. Was it Sunday night? Let's make sure I got it right. Yeah, Sunday night. Lions, Rams. This is my sleeper pick. Everybody and their mama I've been hearing is saying Lions, Lions, Lions. You got to remember, the Los Angeles Rams were not playing good at the beginning of the season. They got hot late. You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You have a Super Bowl winning coach. You have an all-pro wide receiver in Cooper Kupp. You have an all-pro D tackle in Aaron Donald. They have the pieces to make a run here. If Stafford balls out like we know he can in this McVay offense, they're going to give the Lions some fits. On top of the fact that Sam Laporta for the Lions, I'm not sure what his status is in this game because he got injured in the last game. So I'm not sure. That's one less weapon for Jared Goff. I don't know what to think. because we all here think that Jared Goff is a game manager, right? We think Jared Goff is a game manager. So am I all of a sudden supposed to believe that he loses one of his top weapons and that he's going to put on a show? The Lions are going to have to run the ball to win this game, because if you give the Rams too many possessions, then the Rams are going to put points on the board. They're too talented. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually going to Los Angeles Rams in this game, and I'm going to say 27-23 Los Angeles Rams. They go to Ford Field and they handle business against the Lions. Matthew Stafford knows that building. Matthew Stafford, for the most part, knows some of those players on the other side of the ball. Matthew Stafford just knows what it is like to play in Detroit. And he's got a better coach, and he's got a better offense, and he has weapons. Puka Nacua is going to be your NFC player of the year, offensive player of the year. You combine that with Cooper Kupp, you combine that with Matthew Stafford, they got what it takes to win this game and go further. Then we got, which I'm not sure why the rest of this graphic. Okay, there we go. Then we got, like I said before, the Cowboys and the Packers. I do like the Packers. I do like Jordan Love's ascension toward the late part of the season. Jordan Love had a great year this year. Jordan Love balled out this year. I don't think no one predicted the Packers would win the division. I mean, not the division. No, I don't think nobody would think the Packers would get to the playoffs. I thought Detroit, I thought Minnesota, and I thought Green Bay would be third. Because Kirk Cousins got hurt. So we don't really know what the Vikings would have been, because Kirk Cousins was balling out. But with all that being said, in my Stephen A voice, having said all that, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys because, one, it's at home. Two, they got Dak Prescott. They got weapons going, CeeDee Lamb. They got people to throw the ball to. And even though I think Dallas, if this game was in Green Bay and Dallas had to go to Green Bay and that cold temperature, I would say otherwise, because we know how the Dallas Cowboys play when they're away from home. But because this game is in Dallas, I have every reason to think that the Green Bay Packers are not going to win this game, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. I'm going to say, just because of the Cowboys and they always put up 30 points at home, I'm going to say the score of this game is going to be 38-24 Cowboys. 38-24 Cowboys. Because I don't think that Green Bay's defense can hang with the explosiveness of the Cowboys. I do think the Packers can put up points against that Cowboy defense. But I do not think it's going to be enough. What's up, Noah? What's goody with you, man? I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to beat the Dallas Cowboys. You feel me? Like, we know the Cowboys don't play good against really good teams. I don't think that the Green Bay Packers are considered a good team, though. They're a solid team. And Cowboys can beat teams like this. They can't beat the better teams. They can't beat the Rams. They can't beat the 49ers. I even have thoughts about, even though they beat the Eagles in their last meeting, I still don't know how confident I am if the Eagles play the Cowboys, if the Cowboys will win that game. But against a team like Green Bay, I'm almost certain that they're going to win this game. So, with that being said, those are my predictions. So, not even talking about the San Francisco 49ers, based on my predictions, if everything that I said goes true, with Eagles beating Tampa Bay, the Rams beating the Lions, and Cowboys beating Packers, that would mean that if the second round would be Rams versus 49ers. And boy, oh boy, I don't know if the 49ers want any part of the Rams. I'm not sure if the Rams want the 49ers. But based on my prediction, if this holds true, that would mean Los Angeles will be going to San Francisco. Two rivals, two division foes. They know each other. They know the insides and outs. You know division games are tough during the season. Now it's magnified because it's a one and done type of situation. We're familiar with each other. We already played each other twice. This is the third time. You know they're familiar with each other. Anything could happen there. I don't know. But that would leave it San Francisco and the Rams. And then the other matchup would be, if my predictions hold true, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles, because I got the Eagles winning and I got the Cowboys winning. So the 49ers will automatically play the lowest seed that's left. So if the number 6 seed beats the number 3 seed, like I think the Rams are going to beat the Lions, San Francisco being the number 1 is going to play the number 6 seed and the Rams. That will give you a nice juicy matchup with Cowboys and Eagles, number 2 versus number 5. Once again, another division rivalry game. You've already played each other twice. You guys split. Eagles won the first game, Cowboys won the second game. You're familiar with each other. But once again, it's in Jerry World. And the Cowboys, like I always say, the Cowboys play good in Jerry World. So for me to sit there and think that the Cowboys are going to lose to the Eagles when they just beat them a couple weeks ago in Jerry World, I don't know. I think the Eagles are very talented, but they need to get back to last year's form in order to make a run. Otherwise, it's going to end the divisional round. So what do you guys think? For those who watch football, what are your predictions? I got Eagles winning, Rams and Cowboys winning in my bracket. And that would set the stage for some juicy ass matchups in that second round. Because I think the Rams could beat the 49ers. I also think the Eagles could beat the Dallas Cowboys. Like at that moment, there's no dominant team. Like I know the 49ers are really good, but if you're playing a team that you played twice already, anything goes. So the fact that anything goes means that creates that creates juicy scenarios here. What if the Rams and the Cowboys are in the NFC Championship game? In the games at Jerry World, are we saying that the Cowboys may go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1995? Because it's very possible if the Cowboys can somehow get to the NFC Championship game and they don't have to play the 49ers and they end up playing the Rams, that's juicy. Because we may see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Do I have them going to the Super Bowl? I don't. Because I think if San Francisco handles business, the Cowboys are not going to Santa Clara and beating the 49ers. They're just not. They're just not the same team on the road as they are at home in Jerry World. But if my prediction holds true and the Rams play the 49ers and the Rams beat the 49ers and the Cowboys handle their business against the Packers and the Eagles, then we may see Cowboys-Rams for the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And honestly, even though I'm not a big fan of Cowboys, because if they play at home for the NFC Championship game, there's a good chance that the Cowboys could go to the Super Bowl. And that's not even far-fetched to believe. Do I think that the Rams could beat the 49ers in a playoff game? I could, because Matthew Stafford has been there. He's already won a Super Bowl. You could put Matthew Stafford anywhere and he could beat you. Heck, he gave the Ravens a fit. When they played the best team in the league in the Baltimore Ravens, it came down to overtime and the Rams lost that game. But Matthew Stafford, to me, even the games that the Ravens lost, Matthew Stafford played the best ball against the Ravens defense. Welcome in, Jay the Kid. I got the Eagles, Cowboys. Unfortunately. Two teams in your division, right? And I got the Rams winning. Okay, so you got Eagles beating Buccaneers, Cowboys winning against Packers. I agree. In the Rams. Okay, so we agree. We agree. I got Eagles beating Buccaneers, Rams going into Detroit because Matthew Stafford, he knows Detroit. And I think they have a better offense. And like I said, Sam Laporta, I'm not even sure if he's playing that game. I didn't look at the injury news. But if he's injured, then that's one less weapon for Jared Goff. So I'm not really confident that I know we got some Lion fans that watch this channel, and I'm sorry for picking against your team. Had the Lions gone up against the Buccaneers, had the Lions gone up against the Packers, hell, even if the Lions went up against the Cowboys, even though they're two division winners, I might have said the Lions. But the Lions against this particular Rams team, I don't know. I'm going to say Rams because me watching football for as many years as I know, I don't care that the Lions are home. To me, the Lions, and I know a lot of Lions fans are not going to like this next statement, but I don't think the Lions have a true home field advantage. I don't. I've seen teams go into Ford Field and beat them. Hell, we've seen the Packers on Thanksgiving go into Detroit and beat them. They had no business winning that game against the Lions on Thanksgiving. So teams can go into Detroit and beat them. I don't think that Detroit has an ultimate home field advantage. And you got an experienced quarterback, a quarterback that used to play for that same team on that same field. You got Aaron Donald, you got Cooper Kupp. Like I said, you got Puka Nacua. Do I need to say anything more? You feel me? The only game that I'm almost certain that's a 100%. If I had to put a 100% lock on any game, I'm putting it on the Cowboys beating the Packers. I don't see the Packers beating the Cowboys under any circumstance unless Prescott got hurt in the game. So if I had to make one lock pick of this weekend, even though I think the Eagles is almost a lock to beat the Buccaneers, I'm going to say Cowboys is 100% lock to beat the Packers. Just because in Jerry World, they are different. It's like, it's crazy because it's like you put the Cowboys in Jerry World and they look like a Super Bowl team. You put the Cowboys on any other field that's not a dome, they look like a team that don't belong in the league sometimes. It's such night and day how they perform in Jerry World versus anywhere else. Like when they played the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago, I said, oh, the Cowboys are not winning this game. They're not going to go to Buffalo 20, 30 degree weather and beat the Buffalo Bills, even though Buffalo was not playing good at that time. They're not gonna go in the Buffalo and beat them. They're not gonna go to Baltimore and beat them. They're not gonna go to Kansas City and beat. They're not an outdoor team. They're not an outdoor team. However, they are an indoor team, and when they play in Dallas, they're good. So I'm gonna go. My 100% lock pick of the week is Cowboys over Packers for my NFC. Okay, we talked about the AFC yesterday, but I'll dip into that a little bit for those who weren't here yesterday or didn't see the video, which I do recommend you go watch the video. It's under the live stream category for yesterday. We talked about AFC. This is only for NFC, but I will remind people of my picks from yesterday. I've seen teams going into a game in a row and dump. Yeah, you know why road teams sometimes do very well in playoff games? Because they're focused. They don't have to worry about performing in front of a crowd. Their goal is strictly on the team that they're facing because there's no other distractions. We don't have our home fans cheering for us. It's just us versus the team. Whereas the home team, they got to live up to playing good and playing good for the fans and winning. A little added pressure. So I can see the Rams going into Ford Field and winning that game. Actually, I do see that. I'm not going to make that my lock pick because because it's not like the Lions are bad. I just think that the Rams match up pretty well. And I don't think that they played this year. I don't think the Rams and the Lions, did they play this year? Let me double check. Let's double check. They might have played this year. The Rams were I think they did play this year. You're right. I think they did play early this year. Rams did. I'm pretty sure I think they did. And I think the Lions won that game. Hold on. Let's take a look. Rams, Broncos. Damn, the Broncos. No, that was the preseason. Hold up. Rams, 49er, Rams. Oh, no, they didn't. They didn't play this year. Okay, they didn't play this year. I thought they did. For some reason, I thought they did play this year. They didn't play this year. Okay, they didn't play. Oh, they did for some reason. Nonetheless, after saying all of that, I got Rams winning that game. For the AFC, I got Bills, Chiefs, and Texans. Jada Kid, I swear, I don't know if there's some type of like telepathy or something, or we on the same. If you go watch my video yesterday, I literally said the same thing. I'm not going to give everything away I said yesterday. Go watch the video. But I will elaborate a little bit on that in a second. Because that's exactly what I have. People are saying that the Browns are going to win. I'm like, no, the Texans are going to win that game. I'm not promising that, but C.J. Stroud looks like a beast. But anyway, if the Lions match with Green Bay Packers, it's wrap for the Packers. Hear me out. The Packers got lucky this year. I believe the Detroit Lions Yeah, but I don't think that matchup is going to happen because in order for the Lions to play the Packers, the Lions got to win against the Rams and the Packers got to win against the Cowboys, and I don't see neither of those happening. Even if the Lions win, I don't see the Packers winning. So I don't think they're going to match up. But in your scenario, I do agree with you on that. If that happened, the Lions, if the Lions played the Packers again, I think the Lions will win. But I don't think that matchup is going to happen. I remember at the beginning and early on in the season, everybody was saying the Rams weren't going to go anywhere. Yeah, well, they had injuries. You know what I'm saying? They had injuries, but and they lost some players, and they had the whole issue with the running back Cam Akers. They had that whole thing. Once they got rid of Cam Akers and put the other guy in, which I forget his name, because he ran all over the Ravens. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Once they got the Cam Akers situation settled and got healthy and got a solid running game, they've been balling. Like I said, they almost beat us. They've been balling. So it would not surprise me if the Rams got to the Super Bowl. They've been balling. The one thing that the Rams have that the 49ers don't have is they have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And they have a Super Bowl winning coach. Even though Kyle Shanahan coached in the Super Bowl, they didn't win a Super Bowl. So McVay has been to the Super Bowl twice. He lost to the Patriots and he won with the against the Bengals. So McVay is very experienced. People are counting out the impact of a coach. The fact that McVay has been to 2 Super Bowls and has a Super Bowl winning quarterback and knows how to coach quarterbacks, it would not surprise me if they got to the Super Bowl as a number 6 seed. It would not shock me. You heard it here now. If it don't happen, it don't happen. But if it happens, you heard it here first. The Rams had the possibility of going to the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't shock me. That's crazy. We basically mind twins. Exactly, because if you watch the video, I literally said the same exact thing. Yeah, Williams, exactly. And he ran all over the Ravens that game. Matter of fact, just for shits and giggles, since we on a podcast and we're talking football, let's look at the box score. I remember him running all over the Ravens. 25 carries, 114 yards against the Ravens back in December. And it's fun fact, I was actually going to go to this game as well, but we had to cancel last minute. I didn't go. But I was actually going to go to this game, and that would have been one of the Ravens' best game of the year because it went to overtime, and it ended up on a walk-off punt return by Tylan Wallace. So it was a great game. But he ran all over the Ravens. So ever since they got the whole Cam Akers thing and they got him in there, they balled. To the players on the field, the stadium, and yeah, to the road team that's playing in the road, yeah, it's basically empty. You don't have nobody to play for. Your goal is the team itself. Now, don't get pissy when I say this, but I do see first of all, listen, your opinion is your opinion. I mean, you had the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the Super Bowl, so anything that you say at this point is this going through one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. You had the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the Super Bowl. Your prince and Trevor Lawrence is sitting on the couch, healing up from his wounds, his injuries. So anything that you say at this point is respected, but it's you take it with a grain of salt. But anyway, I do see Baltimore going to the AFC Championship, yes, but I do see them winning. But if they match up with the Chiefs, it's wraps. Believe it or not, I'm not even scared of the Chiefs this year. The team that the Ravens should be scared of should be the Buffalo Bills or the Cleveland Browns. It's not even KC. KC has not looked like KC this year. KC has not been KC. Their receivers can't hold on to the ball. Now, granted, KC's defense this year is really good, but their receivers can't hold on to the ball. And that's one thing about the Ravens. Their secondary is really good. Patrick Mahomes, he can try to light us up if he wants, but I don't think the Chiefs have any receivers that can get separation on our secondary. Kyle Hamilton can play anywhere. You got Marcus Williams back there. You got Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, and the back level. Then you got the middle level in Roquan and Patrick Queen, Matabike, and Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, Michael Pierce. I don't think that Kansas City is going to do anything against. And then they got to stop Lamar Jackson. Like everybody that talks about Lamar Jackson as a choke artist doesn't understand that this is not the same team. It's a different coordinator. It's a different wide receiver core. It's a different philosophy. Lamar Jackson got paid. He's locked in. As I mentioned on my video yesterday, Lamar Jackson has nothing to play for other than a Super Bowl. He's about to win his second MVP. He's already got the Ravens to the #1 seed twice in his career. And he got paid. There's nothing else for Lamar Jackson to accomplish other than winning a Super Bowl. So, and he has, and this team is much different than the 2019 team when they choked. And as I showed you the other day, they didn't really choke because those receivers in that Tennessee game dropped the ball so many times. Like I said, you only give Lamar Jackson credit against the Buffalo Bills game. The other games in the playoffs, he didn't play that bad. It wasn't his fault. So people got to analyze Lamar Jackson a little bit thoroughly. They just look at the wins and losses and say, oh, it's Lamar's fault. But Lamar Jackson can only throw the ball. He can't catch the ball. So I don't blame Lamar for all the losses. You know what I'm saying? So this might be the year Lamar does it. I'm hoping so as a Ravens fan. I hope. The only team I say Baltimore struggle, the only team I see Baltimore struggling somewhat is if they match up with the Bills. Yeah, exactly. The Bills or Cleveland, because Cleveland can play defense and run the ball, and they got, like I said, on yesterday's video, they have playoff Joe. Joe is not the dude you want to fuck with in January. I'm sorry, January Joe. You can say whatever you want about Joe Flacco, but when he gets to January, Joe Flacco is a different beast. So the Texans are going to have their hand full against playoff Joe. Now, granted, we ain't seen playoff Joe in some years now, but playoff Joe is playoff Joe. So that would be a team that was because they can play defense. Myles Garrett is a beast, and then the Buffalo Bills because they have a running quarterback. They have a running quarterback, and Josh Allen is like Lamar Jackson, except he's not shifty like Lamar Jackson. He's a bulldozer. But the fact they have a running quarterback, that would present some problems. But I still think the Ravens defense this year has been solid this year. So for me to sit there and say that we couldn't get the job done against Buffalo, I think that's far-fetched. They almost did. The Bills defense is the closest defense that can somewhat match the skill of the Ravens offense. Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that more if this was the Greg Roman offense. But the fact that Lamar Jackson is the wild card here, like I said in my previous videos, there's a play drawn up that the team is supposed to run. The play gets ran. If nothing's available, there's a second play, and that second play is Lamar Jackson creating. So as many coordinators have said over the course of the league this year, even if you lock the play up, Lamar Jackson can still take off. So even though you may have the initial play covered, you can't account for Lamar Jackson running. So that's the wild card here. You may have it schemed up properly, but Lamar Jackson is a wild. And the thing about this Lamar Jackson versus the previous Lamar Jackson is that he's not a run first guy now. He's looking to throw and then run as an option. So now you can't just you can't just spy Lamar Jackson anymore, because now he can throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? He can throw it over your head. So that's the difference maker that the Bills will have to deal with. Now, and on top of that, as Chris Collinsworth said, and I meant to pull his video up, but I probably can't because it's copyright. The beauty of Lamar Jackson is his escapability and how long he stays in the pocket. So an average play is about 5 seconds. With Lamar Jackson's escapability, he can hold on to the ball for 8-9 seconds. Like cornerbacks, safeties, they can't cover a receiver for that long before the improv happens. So once the improv happens, now those cornerbacks and those receivers and those safeties, they can't cover Zay Flowers for 8 seconds. They can't cover OBJ for 8 seconds. They can't cover Aguilar because Lamar Jackson is creating in the pocket. Now people are open on Lamar Jackson runs. That's the wild card here. That's the wild card here. That's the wild card. That's the wild card. I've only seen Kadarius drop the ball in KC. Oh no, you gotta watch more Chiefs games. It ain't just him. Travis Kelce dropped the ball a few times. I've watched a few Chiefs games. I'm like, what is happening here? Ever since Tyreek Hill has been gone, it's not the same offense. To be honest, Patrick Queen is washed. I'm taking what you're saying with a grain of salt. I don't think you watch Ravens games. Patrick Queen is a Pro Bowler. Is a Pro Bowler. So Patrick Queen washed up. I'm not sure what Patrick Queen you watching. You may be watching Queen Patrick, because Patrick Queen is not washed up. Maybe Queen Patrick is, but Patrick Queen is not. I don't know what you looking at. And it's not the same Lamar Jackson, because once again, Greg Roman was holding Lamar Jackson back. It wasn't Lamar holding Lamar. You can watch so many videos, Kurt Warner, Steve Young, all these guys are talking about how Greg Roman's offense was elementary and basic. It didn't, and never allowed Lamar Jackson to evolve to the player he is today. Todd Monken is letting Lamar Jackson cook. Lamar Jackson wants to be a passer first. You can see that this year. There were times where Lamar Jackson could have took off and he rather pass the ball. But because you have to respect his legs, you can't just run up on Lamar Jackson. You can't just play coverage. He's hard to beat. That's why they always say a dual threat quarterback is the most dangerous quarterback, because he's not just a pocket passer. And me and Colosso had this debate the other night about why the pocket passer is leaving the league. Every team wants a dual threat now, because of the ability to be able to make plays on the improvisation. You know what I'm saying? A pocket passer is only going to give you plays from the pocket. It's easier to defend knowing that the quarterback ain't going nowhere. That's why what Joe Flacco has been doing has been absolutely amazing, because he's a statue. And teams know he's a statue, and yet he still gets the job done. You know Joe Flacco ain't going nowhere. That's why it's been impressive what the Browns have been doing, because it's like, okay, we ain't got to account for Joe going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. You rush for, you might blitz. Joe Flacco ain't going nowhere. You know, but Lamar Jackson, you can't do that. You can't do that, because Lamar Jackson can take off and he can throw over top of your head. Then you got an OBJ who I don't care. No, he didn't have his best season, but honestly, if you think from a mentor standpoint, he had his best season. OBJ made big catches, but when he needed to, he never had a 10-catch game, but he made big catches. He's still a threat. You still have to respect him. Zay Flowers, you have to respect. Rashad Bateman didn't have his best year, but you still have to respect. Isaiah Likely is almost as good as Mark Andrews. I'm not going to say that he's better than Mark Andrews, but Isaiah Likely is a baller. So even though your number one tight end went down, you got a number two tight end that is balling almost as much as Mark Andrews did. Patrick Queen is not washed. If anything, he's a lot better. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He's a Pro Bowler, and I'm not going to lie, Patrick Queen by itself is not a number one linebacker, but when you pair him up with Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen looks very dominant. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we've seen what Patrick Queen looks like as the primary linebacker. He's okay, but he's not as good as he is now. Roquan allows him to do what he does, which is run around the field and make plays. Have a good one, man. Be easy. Jackson versus Flacco in Baltimore would be crazy, and I feel like that matchup is going to happen. Anyway, before I get out here, let me recap yesterday since Jay is here. Like I said, like the video, go watch the last video I did if you want a full analysis. I got Texas beating Browns. C.J. Stroud goes off. Even against that defense, I feel like C.J. Stroud's a beast. I got who did I have? Did I have Kate? Who did I have? I actually think did I pick KC yesterday? Shit, I don't even remember what my pick was. I can't remember if I had Miami winning or KC winning. I think I had KC winning. And then Buffalo and Steelers, I got Buffalo winning. I mean, the Steelers are probably the only team I know for a fact that they're not going to do anything because they don't have an offense. They're going to literally have to run Najee Harris down the Buffalo Bills' throat. I just feel like they're going to be down by so many points that Najee Harris is going to be taken out the game. So if you want a full breakdown, there you go. Texans over Browns, Chiefs over Dolphins, Buffalo over Steelers, Eagles over Buccaneers, Rams over Lions, Cowboys over Packers. That is my prediction. All of this begins on Saturday, and I will probably be doing another live stream probably after the weekend games, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the bracket after we become more clear about what teams have fall where. So you'll probably see me do another live stream. Outside of that, thank you guys for being here. That's my predictions. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share this link around everywhere. If you know anybody that watches sports, share the video, because I think I give some interesting takes, and I'm just giving my reaction. It's my reaction. I don't give a fuck what you think about my reaction. It's my reaction. If you don't think the Packers are gonna lose to the Cowboys, fine. I do. That's cool. We can agree to disagree. But if you know somebody likes sports, share the video. I'd appreciate it. All right. There are gonna be some more YouTube shorts coming out this week, and there's gonna be more live streams. This is the last live stream for the week. The next live stream that we're gonna do is gonna be after the weekend games. So stay tuned to then. You know, I had to pop up. Yeah, this is your first time popping up on any one of these. I haven't seen you on a double R at all. So welcome into the double R. This is your first time being here. Like I said, I wanted to get you on these shows. Like, that was my idea at the very beginning of the season. I wanted to get you on the show like we did that one show, because I know you know football, and I know you bring a. So maybe we'll work on getting you on this weekend, after these weekend games. We can talk some ball on that. Maybe we'll work it out, because the people hear my voice all the time. Maybe they want to hear somebody else for a change. We can work that out. The Giants are winning it all next year. That's crazy. They just got rid of Wink Martindale, who actually knows how to coach defense. Even though the Giants were 27 in the league in defense, they were #1 in takeovers. So come on. Just the games that I've seen he's played, he's decent. I'll give him that, but not a Pro Bowl. I mean, I don't know what I can say. I mean, if you watch him play, he's a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler. He makes plays. And the Ravens had the best linebackers duo in the league. You said who? Lamar? Lamar what? Lamar what? I'm assuming he's talking about Patrick. I'm assuming he's talking about Patrick Queen. Lamar Jackson should never be. There should not be any slandering about Lamar Jackson about whether he's an MVP or a Pro Bowler. We already know Lamar Jackson. He's like probably top 3 in the league of all players. Probably #1. Oh yeah. He ain't talking about Lamar. He better not be talking about Lamar Jackson. I mean, I've already debunked too many Lamar Jackson slanders. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. We're supposed to have a podcast on Twitch tomorrow. I'm not sure about that yet. So if we don't have a podcast tomorrow, there will be something in place. So anyway, I'll see you then. Go follow my TikTok, Retroactives. I post sports videos on there as well. Go subscribe to the YouTube. If you're new to here, go subscribe. And go get your Sly Energy drinks. The link is on the channel. Go get that, and I promise you, you will be invigorated by what you do. I'm gonna go make me another cup of tea, because I love me some tea. I'm gonna make me a cup of tea. Go watch me some WWE Monday Night Raw. Maybe watch some NBA basketball and work on some projects that I gotta do. So thank you guys for your time. I appreciate all of you. Tiffy, C. John, Jada Kid, Noah. Did I miss anybody? I see Noah, Jada Kid, and Wavy. I almost got Wavy. Wavy did pop in here. Thank you, Wavy, so much. I appreciate you. Thank you guys. I love you. You know I'm here to support you guys. Thank you guys for supporting me. This is Double R, also known as Retro Recap. We are out. Peace.